I don't think I've ever made this video. This channel hasn't existed long enough. You see, as long as this channel has existed, Liverpool has actually been good. And so I have a couple of comfortable wheelhouse subjects. We have Chelsea, we have Tottenham, we have Manchester United. I mean, that's almost too easy. You can even throw in some Arsenal in there. Mr. 14 draws last year, trying to pipe up and say something, right? Like, there are so many teams in the Premier League, just when we're hanging out in the Premier League, that I am used to being able to dump on. Even Manchester City, right, with whatever they put together last year. I was comfortable dumping on them. But I have never really had the opportunity, and I'm relishing it like a hot dog. I am relishing this opportunity because we get to shit on Liverpool, because they have been so bad, kind of out of nowhere. I think it's related to that Twitter account, Hater Central, that started to really hate on guys like Isak and Wirtz. And I also want to be clear, I don't think this is something that's going to last forever for Liverpool. I think they're going to be able to figure it out. But right now, we've reached an undeniable stage. Liverpool. The Liverpool with Mo Salah and Virgil van Dijk that's been contending, top two in the Premier League, it feels like, for the better part of a decade, now has lost 5 of its last 6. 4 straight matches in the league, which is nuts. This is the table from last season. I've pulled it up for one obvious reason. You can see, if I don't accidentally click on it, Liverpool lost 4 Premier League matches all of last season en route to a Premier League title. Arsenal, who finished second, Mr. Draw down here, they also only lost 4 matches the entire season. Now, this run of 4 losses does not knock Liverpool all the way out of the title race. They are still alive with a chance to catch up to the different teams that you could run into at the top of the league. But if they're going... Did I just burp in the middle of a sentence? Am I okay? Do I need to go to the hospital for that? I don't know. They need to stop this run now if they're going to have a chance. It's all happened so quickly. I mean, Liverpool won its first 5 matches in the league. You look back at its scores, and they started the season exactly the way you'd expect them to start the season. Sure, they lost the Community Shield, but, I mean, let's be real. It's the fucking Community Shield here. They get off to a hot start. They beat Atletico Madrid. They're winning. They squeak it by, Southampton. And then all of a sudden, they lose to Crystal Palace. Big, bad, scary Crystal Palace that beat them in the Community Shield. Then they go on the road against Galatasaray, and they lose 1-0. Which, that obviously, not an unbelievable shock. It is a surprise. It is a significant surprise, but not an unbelievable shock, considering Galatasaray is the best team in Turkey. They have a lot of talented players, and that atmosphere is pretty crazy. The point that I start to ring the alarm bells was this Manchester United loss. Because then they go out and they lose to Chelsea. Okay, and this match, this is the last match in this run where they were still Liverpool in it. Right? They were playing like Liverpool. You go on the road against Crystal Palace. Yeah, you might lose, but you still had a ton of the ball. Crystal Palace they created big chances. Liverpool was very sloppy in this game. The Galatasaray match it was what it was. I mean, Jamie Carragher was all upset about it. And then you lose at Chelsea. Am I really going to blame you for losing a one-off match at Chelsea? No. I'm not ringing the alarm bells after these 3. This is the match where I ring the alarm bells. And this is not me trying to dump on Manchester United. It's because we clearly now had a pattern of Liverpool being able to dominate matches and not win. And you know who that reminds me of? Manchester City. Manchester City used to do this until, of course, they didn't. Became an unbelievably dominant force, and then all of a sudden they just reverted back to it last year, where they're able to dominate matches, where you're able to watch a match and go, wow, they have a lot of the ball. Wow, they're getting they're getting 40 half chances, but they can't win. They don't have that winning edge. See, here's the way. I love sports. I love all sports. You know this. Hockey, American football, basketball. I'm there. I'm watching the Olympics. I'm in the trenches. I'm watching rhythmic gymnastics. I'm locked in on the ribbon routine. Okay? And one of the most unique things about football, soccer here, is that you can be the significantly better team pretty consistently and lose pretty consistently if you don't have that winning edge. Because there are only a few moments that make the difference in a match. It is not uncommon at all in this sport for one moment, 1 3-second moment to decide everything. Way more common in this sport than a lot of other sports for that to be the case. Hockey, there are more goals. Basketball, there are a ton of points that, every once in a while you have a buzzer beater or something where you can get lucky or unlucky. But most of the time, it's going to be settled with the pace of the play before. American football is going to be the same way. One little moment, one slab header in this instance for Manchester United that's going to make the difference. 6 minutes after Liverpool finally breaks through. The most important thing for these teams, the thing that teams like Liverpool have, is that killer instinct, that ability to win that one moment, to create that one moment. It's what separates Liverpool from Arsenal, or has. It's what separated Manchester City. It's what separated Manchester United back in the day. Because there are always, particularly with the amount of money flying around and the quality of players in the Premier League especially, there are always a couple of teams that can play at that very top level and hold the ball, and technically they're all there. It comes down to those moments. And for whatever reason, and it became evident in this Manchester United game, Liverpool wasn't taking those moments. They were losing them. And then obviously, you think they get the horse back in the cart here with a 5-1 win at Frankfurt, which I was very, very impressed by the way, because they were down 1-0 in this match, and then they roared back to a 5-1 win. But then all of a sudden, it just goes away again. You go on the road against Brentford, and maybe they took their feet off the gas, but, you're down 2-0 in this match, 2-1 at halftime, 3-1 after the penalty. And perhaps most concerning is that they're once again giving up monster XG numbers. Monster. You remember what they gave up against Crystal Palace? They're giving up too many chances. There is something messed up in the team where they're giving up too much. And some people are pointing at Mo Salah. I know I've seen that. Mo Salah doesn't track back. And that's why they're getting exposed, because Mo Salah's not getting back on defense. I don't really believe that that's the case. I don't believe that. I don't believe in that. I still think Mo Salah's pretty good. I say pretty good. That's just relative to what he used to be. Obviously, 99.9% of clubs in the world would love to have Mo Salah right now and plug him in on the right wing. But it is also a possibility, because this is unprecedented, right? BBC actually wrote an article. I'll see if I can find it somewhere in this article. Maybe not. Only the 4th time a Premier League champion has lost four Premier League matches in a row in the following season. It is not business as usual anymore. Right? Even after the loss to Chelsea, it kind of was. You lose 3 in a row, yikes. You lose 4 in a row, you're starting to get into rarefied air for a team that won the Premier League last year. They have lost in this run, like I was saying, the same number of matches they lost all of last season. So it's time for me to make this video and for everybody to stop pretending that Liverpool is okay, because they are not. Something is broken there. Whether it is the fact that Mo Salah and Virgil van Dijk and that core of players are just not capable of carrying the team the way they were before, or whether it is guys like Isak and Wirtz are going to take longer to settle into the team than they might have hoped. Liverpool is not what they were. The door is open. And what that means is, perfectly honestly, this has to be Arsenal's time. It has to be. Manchester City is still recovering. They just lost today. They're still recovering from whatever debacle it was last season and kind of building themselves back up. Liverpool has just, when you're hiking and you just miss a step and they just missed the step and fell, that's what they've done. They've shipped 4 straight matches. Also laid an egg in the Champions League as well. So they're gettable. That's the big 2. The door is wide open. 2nd and 3rd right now on the live table are Bournemouth and Sunderland. I am not expecting them to stay there, although I'm very happy for Sunderland. That's the Premier League team I picked to be a fan of when I was in 4th grade. Always hope they do well ever since that moment, so it's amazing to see them up that high. I don't expect the Black Cats to stay there, or the Cherries. Tottenham's rebounded. Teams like Aston Villa I would have expected to be taking more advantage of this. because this is your Leicester type season. This is the door open. There's only one team left that seems to be near the peak of its power, and that is Arsenal. It has to be Arsenal's year. Things can change. Like I said, if Liverpool just starts ripping off wins again, then they figured it out. Florian Wirtz got his confidence. Ekitike and Isak are playing well together, and boom, light a match. Mo Salah starts scoring a couple of hat tricks here and there. Manchester City has the best striker in the world. They are always a danger, right? They still have the most goals in the league, even though they have 2 less wins than Arsenal. But Arsenal, this is the way that it works. You earn your way up. And Arsenal's been pushing and pushing on that lid for a couple of years. And now, through good fortune, Liverpool and Manchester City and now Liverpool seemingly have stepped aside. Liverpool rather quickly, because I thought they were going to roll to another league title after the way they started this season, and then they just aren't. But I'm looking at you, Arsenal. I'm looking at you. Liverpool has receded. And honestly, depending on how the rest of the season goes, even if Liverpool actually doesn't lose another match the rest of the season, it could already be over. Depending on how many draws they get. I mean, you saw the table last year. If Arsenal plays the year that they had last year, need I say more than make that face?